Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome into Bacon in Your Mailbox on this Thursday, March the 10th, 2022. Show number 147 of Bacon in Your Mailbox. I am Greg Milby, community storyteller. Right there is not Jana Clark. Jana Clark is out on, secret missions for the Elizabethtown tourism. So we brought in the local weather guru, George Herbig, to set in for Jana today. George, thanks for taking some time in the co-host seat this morning.
Absolutely. I love new adventures. First time ever doing this. It'll be fun to learn and kind of sit here and just sit, chat, and interact with some people.
All right, I'll hit record. It's going to be fun to do this. Got it. I saved that just in case I need that for later on. All right, George is a local weather guru, Weather Now Kentucky. If you have not subscribed to their page or follow them on Facebook, you should do that. Local weather information from a local guy that lives it, eats it, sleeps it, breathes it as a hobby, as a passion, and maybe potentially as a profession down the road, right?
We're hoping so. Get some things rolling right now. But most definitely. I don't know if I told you this, Greg, but it started as just a real quick snip before we hop into everything, but it started as a page where I developed it just to have some fun. And then I woke up one day and there was 10,000 followers on there that just kept growing and growing and growing. And now we're really focused on making it into something real big and real good as a reliable resource for Kentucky. So just a real fun little background story right there. Never really told anybody that, but it just it really just started as a page I want to do for fun. And now look where we're at. So we're taking it serious now and we're helping a lot of people out.
Good deal. I mean, that's kind of what Kentucky's heartland. And then the whole start of Bacon in Your Mailbox, that was, pandemic driven show that Jana came up with and even came up with a name, and we decided to continue doing it. So there are some good things I think that have come out of the pandemic, but so we'll talk about the weather in a bit, because it is it's a little jacked up is what it is. And so we'll get you. Normally I will do this big weather graphic that has, the weather forecast on it. I'm not even going to do that because I'm about 99% sure that it will be wrong. So I won't do that. But we will talk weather here in a few minutes. But first of all, I want to say good morning to our friend Carter Blankenship. Every morning that we do this show, we talk to Carter, and Carter has the special message as always.
Good morning, Greg.
All right. Sweet. So Carter is our buddy, and the Autism Spec Run is coming up, and Carter's got a team in that. And April 23rd, Severance Valley Baptist Church parking lot, 5K run, walk. You can join Carter's team, and all that money is going to, that's raised is going to go to Camp Tessa, which is awesome. Summer camp. So good stuff.
Sounds awesome.
Good, all right. First off, Ken Salee checking in this morning. Good morning, Ken. Glad to have him in. Ken's a content creator as well. He actually is a content creator coach. So
we need more of those.
Got it going on. So if you were looking for reasons to celebrate today, besides it being conference tournament time, unless you're like George or myself and being Louisville fans, we have nothing to cheer for now.
It's tough. I'm pulling for Murray State. Side note.
We all should.
I think so. I think we should all band together in support of smaller schools, since Bellarmine for some reason didn't get in. That's a weird story. Murray State, where I went for a little bit, and I love Big John Morant fan. And
that's helped Murray State out for sure. Most certainly think that has helped their recruiting there, the work
definitely,
and everything he's doing down in Memphis right now too. All right, so today is International Day of Awesomeness. It's a day to recognize that people are awesome every day. Frequently, you don't realize it, and their awesomeness is rarely recognized. But today, it is International Day of Awesomeness, and I think it's because it's Chuck Norris's birthday is why they have that.
Really?
Yeah. So go figure. Dayofawesomeness.com is a website you can go to. I know you're a big gamer. Today is Mario Day.
Yeah. I love Mario.
Yeah.
Love Mario.
And it's for all Marios, not just the Mario in the video game, but it's for all Marios.
Oh, so it's for Mario Lopez as well.
Mario Lopez, Mario Batelli, Mario Lemieux.
I think I'm too young for the Mario Batelli one. Who is that?
That is a TV chef. Food Network.
I knew it sounded familiar.
Yeah.
But I had no idea. So, I wanted to ask.
Mario Lemieux. I'm not a ice hockey fan, but that's the Mario that pops in my mind. Of course, Super Mario Brothers, the video game fame. Got to have those in there.
Mario Kart. Absolutely love Mario Kart.
Great
First ever game was on GameCube Mario Kart. Absolutely love that game.
So today is Mario Day. It's also International Bagpipe Day. I don't know anybody that plays the bagpipes, but if you do, it's the day to actually maybe listen to them play something for you.
Isn't it absolutely wild that you can sit down and see all the different international days we have? I think it is so cool. There's like the most wildest things you could ever think of in your dreams.
Well, we like bringing them up, and you know, in my radio days, I love bringing them up because one, it gives you an opportunity to discuss in the office, like Day of Awesomeness. Maybe you want to bring that up with a coworker. You know, you are awesome because.
Of course.
Today's also Pack Your Lunch Day. Okay. So it's the anniversary in the U.S. It was on this date in it was a different thing. That's the Salvation Army Day. It was on the anniversary in this date in 1880 that they started the anniversary. They started the Salvation Army. But Pack Your Lunch Day, everybody has their favorites, you know, whether it's PB&J or what. So if you were packing a lunch, right, what's your go-to?
Most likely a cold cut, a little fruit on the side, cold cut. I'm a big meats fan, so you throw turkey, bacon. See what I did there? You can throw all those meats on there, and I would absolutely love it. No more cheese these days. Can't do cheese anymore, unfortunately. But a little mayo on there. I love a good sandwich. A good sandwich is always so refreshing to me. A little bit of lettuce on there as well.
There you go.
And then on the side, we're looking at like some carrots, some fruit. Big fan of like apples and peanut butter for lunch. I don't know why. It helps me feel better. Apples make me feel refreshed. The peanut butter gives me energy. And then, of course, some water to wash it all down with. Great little quick lunch there and a bunch of boost for energy. I'm big fan of that. That'd be mine. What about yours?
Bologna and cheese and mayo.
Okay.
So we'll have it's not the
along the same lines.
I want thick bologna. I don't want, this little thin stuff.
Man.
Even if it could be that
like
slab
4 or 5 slices of the thin stuff as well. Like, just get the thick.
Get just right on thick stuff. Put a slice of cheese. I know you can't have it, but a slice of cheese, some lettuce, and some mayonnaise. Now, I like tomatoes, but I've kind of gone away from them, like for a lunch sandwich, because it makes the bread soggy.
So absolutely, if I am in the mood, I have to be in the mood for it, right? For the tomato on there. So I let it sit on a plate or whatever for 5 minutes, whatever it may be. And I throw a little salt on there, just a little bit of salt and pepper, and it kind of absorbs some of that water. So if you ever want a tomato in the future, or is anybody else, throw a little salt and pepper on there, let it sit there for a few minutes, and then put it on there. Kind of helps a little bit, and it gives a little bit more flavor as well. But yeah, I didn't like tomatoes for the longest. I don't know if it's an acquired taste or what it may be, but the last couple of years they're growing on me.
My wife hogs them all, so that's why I don't get them as much. She loves tomatoes. So I would do the bologna and cheese with mayonnaise and lettuce, which the old neighborhood market that John O had there on the Dixie. He had the Greg Milby special at lunch. It was a bone and cheese sandwich, and that's what I used to call it growing up. I wanted a bone sandwich, which was bologna.
Oh, you had me so lost there for a second, Greg.
I brought you back now.
Yeah, you brought me back. Yeah.
So I'd have to have chips on the side, maybe a cosmic brownie. That'd be good. Or
the real important question is what
nutty
kind of
bars.
Chips?
Oh, probably sour cream and onion.
Okay.
I go with that.
I'm a big Doritos fan. The purple bag, the sweet chili, I think is what it's called.
Okay.
Big fan. Big fan of that. One of my favorite chips. I don't eat chips often. I'm not a big chip guy, surprisingly.
Funyuns. But I'd go with Funyuns.
Funyuns are solid. Solid. Big fan of like the zesty flavors for me. I'm a big fan of the classic chips. I love Pringles though. I love the kettle bake that Lay's does. I think it's Lay's that does that, or whoever it may be. I'm a big fan of that. And then just like the baked Cheetos. I don't know what it is. I can't really do fried chips anymore. I guess because I had them so much when I was a kid. Maybe I'm still kind of working out of that. But I love like the kettle bake and the baked chips. I think they go really well with the sandwich. Do you put your chips on your sandwich?
No. I've seen people do that, but I'm a traditionalist like that. So
no, I love having a little crunch this in. Not a lot, maybe like 4 or 5. I've seen some people, my sister included, absolutely just load. I'm like, I know the roof of your mouth is getting carved up because of how many chips you want on there. And I just feel bad for her.
Yeah, I can't do that. I can't.
Yes, like Ken said, hang on. Like Ken said before we move on, you have to try those chips if you haven't. The purple bag of the Doritos.
The sweet chili Doritos?
Yeah, they're not spicy. They sound spicy, but they're not. They're so good.
I'm kind of a traditionalist in a way. I'm not anti like extreme flavors because
Okay.
like cereal aisle. We've discussed this on the show before. Cereal aisle, I think there are
Right.
too many options. Candy aisle, I think we're getting out of hand. There's
I get
way too many
overwhelmed.
options. I
get
think
overwhelmed.
the chip aisle is starting to lean that direction. So I've just got to stand my ground and just kind of be careful on where I go and what I get.
I saw like ketchup flavored chips the other day from Lay's or something like that. Now that I can get on with you about. I can understand you there. The sweet chili ones though, I actually have a sweet chili sauce I keep in the fridge and put that on everything. So I guess I'm probably just a big sweet chili fan more than anything. But yeah, if you ever get a chance, get a little small bag of them, try them out. They're really good. They're really
All right,
good.
I'll dig into that. Today's also popcorn lovers day because, who doesn't love popcorn? And it is name tag day. So this is part of name week. So every day it's been a little bit different. Today's celebration of names stipulates that wherever you go, whatever you're doing, you wear a "Hello, my name is" name tag. Now,
I like it.
In a playful mood, you can rename yourself for the day.
Oh Lord, I see where you're going with this.
Well, or I saw. Just wear somebody else's name tag. You can do that too.
What kind of name would you have?
I don't know. It would probably be like Marcus or
I like it.
Maybe I'll be a Kinsley. That's who I'll be.
I like it. I like it. I would have to go with the classic like Jordan because of the amount of times I've been called Jordan in my life, even though you can clearly see my name is not spelled anywhere close to Jordan. You would be surprised the amount of times throughout school I've been called. I was called Jordan. It is fascinating, and I always when I got older, I got a little not sour about it, but I just kept asking them like, how are you getting Jordan? And then you would just see the puzzled look on their faces. It cracked me up because I guess if I had to choose my name for one day, it'd be Jordan just to validate all of those weird interactions of somebody calling me Jordan, even though my name's not anywhere close to it. It does sound like it a little bit though.
We did that name tag thing years ago as a radio thing. We just decided to do that. And my friend Richard Price, who passed away a few years ago, his name tag, we actually went to the gym with our name tags on. We threw people off. It was crazy. It was, we had a lot of fun with it. So I can't even remember what names we were, but they were definitely. Wow. So my buddy Shirley, morning, Shirley. Shirley's my neighbor up the street. So she's wanting to know. So let's talk about events this weekend, George.
Okay.
So for those maybe you just clicked in here, George is a local weather guru. George is a part of Weather Now Kentucky. He is Weather Now Kentucky, and from tornado warnings to severe weather to snow, whatever, George is there. And it's not one of those you spend 30 minutes looking at a forecast. You spend hours and hours and hours analyzing data and coming up with all of that. So that we've got a 5K Saturday morning. This Shamrock Run that Running Souls here in Elizabethtown is putting on. And we weren't planning on any snow when the plans were put together. So talk to us. Give us and now this isn't one of those, George, in-depth, Q&As where we go 45 minutes talking like this. Give me this in-depth. What are we going to get when it comes to snow or rain this weekend?
So a quick overview of it. We're looking at an evolving system. So this is a really cool system. It's like the 6th or 7th time we've seen a system like this already this winter. The difference is the cold air will be way steeper, which is weird saying that because we're in March, right? Where we're talking about 5Ks. We're talking about the fact that we have blooming flowers and trees outside. I mean, even in my yard, we have the I don't know, I forgot what they're called, but one of our trees is blooming. And now we're looking at, it'll be about 60 degrees on Friday too before all this starts. So we're looking at, lunchtime. Everyone's driving around, walking around, getting their lunches and whatnot. And it's 60 degrees outside. They're thinking, "Oh, George has gone and lost his rockers again. He's nuts." And then 6 to 7 p.m. rolls around and it's snowing. And then 9 to 10 p.m. it's snowing really hard. And then 12 to 1 a.m. it's snowing really hard. And then it's letting up around 3 to 4 a.m., maybe even closer to 6 a.m. on Saturday. So the significance of that and the nighttime aspect of it, what we call a nocturnal event, basically just fancy word for saying that it's going to happen at night, is it allows for those temperatures to get in, which is the first time that's going to happen all season. How many times, Greg, can you remember I've texted you either being frustrated or just texting you about how close we've been to a big system? It's happened 2 or 3 times this season already.
Oh yeah, because it's like it's developed and then all of a sudden it's not.
Yeah. And so we're watching that. So whenever you're going through forecasting and whatnot, you want to focus on the trends. What's the trend? What's the trend been this year? We get really close and then it dives off a little bit to the east, or we get really close and we stay at 33 to 34 degrees. So the difference with this one, to kind of make it a little bit faster, is the temperatures aren't going to be an issue. I was talking to you yesterday because you were asking me a little bit about this, about the weather for the race coming up. And even if something magical happens and it doesn't snow, which is possible, because again, we've seen this low pressure come up and then go west and then really miss us. I don't think that's going to happen. In fact, right before we started talking, I was looking at the model data, and we're about, and let's say you mentioned that race is in E-Town, correct?
Mm-hmm.
We're about 60 miles away from E-Town is where that fine line is of a winter storm. What's a winter storm in Kentucky? At least 4 inches of snow. So a shift of 25 miles would take about a percentage of that. So a shift of about 25 miles can make a massive difference. And a shift of 25 miles is definitely more than doable. So we can go from, 4 to 6 inches of snow all the way down to dusting. So that's what we're kind of watching right now. Right now, I believe I have Elizabethtown and Harnett County in the 2 to 4 inch zone. I feel very comfortable about that. But again, the major difference with the storm is that the cold air will be available, and the cold air will probably be actually the main topic on Saturday. It is going to be cold. We're talking wind chills that will struggle to get out of the teens on Saturday. I'm talking about for highs of wind chills. I mean, it is going to be brutally cold. The winds are going to be blowing. Definitely put a lot of lotion on, a lot of chapstick if you're going to be outside, if this race does go on, and because we magically don't have any snow. But definitely put a lot of lotion and chapstick on. I don't know how that does for the aerodynamics of the race for racers, but it's gonna be breezy and cold.
Yeah, as a race timer and race coordinator, I don't like super cold weather because the runners are out there running.
Yeah.
I'm standing there at the start finish line freezing. My feet are cold, my hands are cold.
It's going to be one of those things where if that does happen, which I could see a scenario where E-Town only ends up with 1 inch or so, and maybe they try to run that race. It'll be really slick, because the thing that'll save our butts a little bit is the fact that it will be 60 degrees on Friday at some point.
But that doesn't mean that the ground won't get cold enough to stick, right? I mean,
absolutely not. And in fact, it makes it a little bit more of a scary situation. So a scenario that you can fully expect to see develop is that first hour or so of snowfall melts, right? Let's say that melts. And then the temperatures really crash, because I'm talking about after this initial wave of the precip starts, the temperatures go from 47 degrees all the way down to about 26 degrees in a matter of an hour. And we're talking about a 20-degree drop that quick. And we discussed this before a couple weeks ago. The flash freeze level is 25 degrees. So as soon as it gets there, everything's frozen. And on top of that, we're going to still see some more snowfall. So we could very well see a scenario where there's a thin layer of ice because of that snow that did melt initially. And then we're talking about a little small layer of snow on top of that. So I will say this, even though we are only, what time is it, 9 a.m. on Thursday? So I'll say 9 a.m. on Friday, that's 24 hours. We're only about 36 hours from the onset of this event, and there still is some uncertainty on amounts. Again, I did have Elizabethtown in the 2 to 4 inch range. I feel pretty comfortable about that. However, there's still no model agreement. I mean, me and my buddy were talking about this last night. Actually, not last night, at 2 a.m. we were talking about it, because that's how late we stayed up to watch those last models come in. We were talking about it, and there's still absolutely zero agreement. We have a little bit of agreement on like the alignment of where the heavier zones and stuff we're going to set up, but there's still massive disagreement on amounts. So your guys having to take out a calculator and do it the old-fashioned way and do some equations and algorithms and yada, yada, yada. That's where we're coming up with some of the amounts right now. And we did factor in that some of it would melt off. But what's really cool about that, to wrap this up with, is we're going to have super heavy snowfall rates at some points. So even if it is 34 degrees or something like that, which is a very plausible scenario, that snow will actually still stick because it's coming down so heavy. So think about it this way, a little metaphor for it. If you grab a bowl of warm water right? Nothing hot, but a bowl of warm water. You put 1 or 2 ice cubes in there, it's going to melt really fast. If you pour a whole 8 ounces of ice cubes in there, so a whole lot of ice cubes in there at one time, it's going to take a little bit longer for that ice to melt. So even if that snow comes down and it's 34 degrees, which we would all believe is above freezing, the snow will still actually stick because it's coming down so heavy. So that's another thing that we're developing, or that we're going to be dealing with, is something called dynamic cooling, and it's the rapidly cooling of the environment. So a snowflake can survive no matter almost what the temperature is, as long as it's not absolutely absurd, which we're going to be cold, so it's not going to matter. But yeah, we have a pretty dynamic event, really.
So the fact is this: if you're a runner and you're planning on running this event, if there's one thing we do here, we speak truth. As far as Jan and I, we've told some stories that probably should have never been told. But what I say is this: safety is first. So if there's any potential, and we don't make the call, it's the city of Elizabethtown, their road crew
this is run on streets, right?
Right. Yeah. So I, as a race director, this is a little different. We're just timing this event for Will Rivera at Running Souls, but knowing Will, safety's first. So if there's any potential of it being slick on the roads at all, it's not just about the runner's footing. It's about the cars that are also be on that road. If they don't have 100% control of their vehicle, we're not going to put runners on there. So, I know he's going to make a determination later today. And so we'll let you know when that happens. And I think I'm going to be doing a video, with him soon. So Ken says, George, if you don't already, you need a YouTube channel devoted to weather education. He's on it. He's already
working on it right now. I'm trying to get Greg to get me on his software so we can distribute the broadcast to multiple platforms at one time. So we're working on some things, and definitely, I don't know if Greg's ever told anyone this, but I'm a big gamer myself. I stream for YouTube or for Facebook. And actually I have a partnership with them, but for the gaming aspect. And so I did have a YouTube gaming channel as well, converted that into a weather channel. And now I'm really focused on doing some research on how all that stuff works, because every platform has all the different little aspects of everything. So on how they operate and what's good for them.
You need to get connected with Ken as well. Ken's a guy that he can help you out for sure. So moving on to some other stuff that is going on in the community. Art Fagan Entertainment is going to present their musical comedy Church Basement Ladies. Now, Church Basement Ladies have been around for years. National touring act, absolutely hilarious. Had multiple casts over the years. This is the original cast, and they are coming to the Hardin County Schools Performing Arts Center.
Impressive.
Friday night. Tickets are $25 to $30. The orchestra seating is where it's at. No, it's gonna be great. It's a national touring act coming to town. So people pay great money in big cities to go see this.
Right.
It's making a stop in E-Town on Friday night. Shows at 7:00. Doors are going to open at 6:30. Don't wait. Get those tickets. The PAC doing some really cool stuff. It is their 20th anniversary this year, so they want to make sure that people know about that. Some of the other things that are happening this as my scroll goes on. There's a sensory-friendly film, Hotel Transylvania, playing at Crown Point Theater. So if you have sensory issues, or your child that has sensory issues, that is most certainly something you need to go check out. So keep that in mind. And Hotel California, a salute to the Eagles. Saturday night. Yeah. Saturday night at the State Theater. Tickets still available. I think it was a rescheduled show from, I don't know if it was one of the weather events or during the pandemic or something.
I feel like I heard of that before. Yeah, I feel like you're onto something there. I was just about to mention that. I feel like I heard that event already. So yeah, it has to be rescheduled for something.
Yeah, state270.org, their website. You can also go to Kentucky'sHeartland.com, find ticket information there. Tickets are $41 for balcony seats, all the way up to $73 if you want VIP. And that is Saturday night, beginning at 7:30 at the State Theater. So there you go. March Madness is upon us. We mentioned earlier, won't recap it much more. Virginia beat Louisville last night, 51-50. Cardinal season is done. Just no chance in the world of anything happening well for that. Western Kentucky plays Louisiana Tech tonight at 7:00 in the Conference USA tournament. And then Kentucky plays tomorrow night at 8:30 in the SEC tournament. They're going to play either Alabama or Vandy. Vandy and Alabama play tonight. Vandy won last night. Now they move on to play Alabama tonight, and then the winner will get Kentucky tomorrow night at 8:00.
Cool.
So
cool.
means Selection Sunday coming up this Sunday.
Right.
And everybody
National
becomes
holiday for people in Kentucky. Really?
Oh yeah, come bracket experts on Monday.
Oh, you're gonna hear everyone talking about how they just found this one statistic that's going to give them their key run to making a perfect bracket. Really, so I don't know about you, Greg. For me, when I'm making my bracket, I love trends. Same thing with weather. I always go with the hotter team or the team with the most experience. I feel like experience really matters in March. Truly, how many young teams, take Kentucky, for example, how many of their teams have made deep runs? Really, only the teams that have had some level of experience to them, right? And so, so for me personally, and everybody has their own thing, whether it's jersey colors, eating, or names, or I've heard all kinds of crazy stuff, right? But for me, I love experience when it comes to big college basketball teams for March. And coming from a Louisville fan here, I really like this Kentucky team.
I think they have a chance. That's for sure.
They're deep. I feel like they had a couple attitude issues with a couple players early on in the season. Cal had benched a couple people and kind of messed with the rotation a little bit. But I really like this Kentucky team. I really do. Their point guard is a boss at assisting, and
but Oscar Tshiebwe.
Oscar is. I'm not even going to attempt to say his last name. But that man is a menace, an absolute menace. If he's not National Player of the Year,
I've been trained not to like Kentucky. Sorry, everybody knows that's no secret.
Yeah, that's no secret.
But Oscar is a player that I can get on board with. I like him. I like what he's done. I love his attitude. I love hearing him talk too. That says a lot for me, right? I can't. We're Louisville fans and Kentucky fans alike are born to dislike very strongly the other team. So even if I can respect what they're doing on the court, I usually don't like even hearing them talk. I'm going to be honest with you, but hearing them talk, hearing a story, just watching them play. He set the record for the most rebounds in Kentucky's season. Think of how many great big men that have come out of there. Mm-hmm. Anthony Davis, Julius Randle, come off the top of my head, DeMarcus Cousins, and that's just recently. So you're talking about some great company, this guy's in, and he did it with like 3 or 4 games left in the regular season. Yeah, he's a beast. He's gonna do some amazing stuff.
I can't wait to see him in the league.
Next week we will and we'll have to get your predictions as well. We will break down, of course, March Madness because Selection Sunday, and then you got the play-in games, and then in the Milby House, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday of next week is national holidays.
Absolutely, so that's how it is here too.
I'm all about that. But we still have high school basketball to deal with too. Our friends in Meade County, the Meade County Lady Waves, are playing in the girls' Sweet 16. They picked up a win yesterday. Came from behind. I think they were down like 20 points.
Win. I know. I watched that.
53-46. They beat Boyd County. They will play Bullitt East tomorrow at 1:30, and then with a chance to play on Saturday. So good luck for them.
Pulling hard for them.
John Hardin and Lyon County, the boys' Sweet 16 is next week. So if you're planning on that, and if you're a Bulldog fan, next Thursday, the 17th at 1:30 is when that game is.
Go Trojans. Sorry, I sneak it in there. How to sneak it in there?
You can do that. I am old enough to remember when John Hardin was created. I remember that first year of the school. So that's.
I'm not sure whether to be impressed by that or to.
I really wouldn't be. It's kind of disappointing, really, and just kind of showing my age. So there is that.
So for those that don't, because I know some people that watch them all around the world, right? So for those that don't know, the John Hardin North Hardin rivalry is a lot like the Kentucky and Louisville one. It's literally down to the color scheme, all right? So that's why I just think the Trojans in there, even though they don't really do anything in sports anymore. Outside of track and soccer. So, but I had to sneak it in there for real quick. I had to sneak it in.
So the other thing with information you need to know, spring forward this weekend too. So when you go to bed on Saturday night, flip that clock forward an hour. You're going to lose an hour of sleep
this weekend, huh?
Yeah, because we'll have snow on the ground springing forward.
We're springing forward the clock, and it's like 12 degrees outside.
It's nuts. This Kentucky weather just sucks.
Absolutely, but I will say this, Greg, as a little teaser. This is likely going to be the last bit of winter that we see. I'm looking at the signatures. There's my fiance. Good morning.
Uh-huh.
I love
Yeah,
that
we're
shit
going to
right
bring
there.
her up in a minute.
I don't think she would like that. She hasn't done her makeup yet, and I swear if we put her on a camera.
Well, no, we're going to put her on the camera. We're going to talk about her in a minute because
Oh,
you mentioned
right,
your
right.
fiance. So I've got
Gave
some
you a
wedding
segue
ideas for
there.
you because
Yeah,
you got a
absolutely.
wedding coming up. So we'll do that. But
Right.
finish your thought there, and then we're gonna jump into some wedding discussion.
Yeah, so fun. I'm looking forward to that. I forgot Greg mentioned that. I'm not fully all there yet. Like I mentioned, we stepped up almost 4 a.m. this morning. But the last bit of this really is the last freezing signature that we've seen. So now there will still be some mornings where we dipped in maybe 32, 31. So don't plant anything yet because you need some frost on there and whatnot. Frost is going to be pretty common over these next 3 to 4 weeks. But it talks about snow or freezing rain or anything like that. There is a small chance that something can happen on the 15th. We're kind of watching that time frame as well. So this is going to happen obviously tomorrow. Tomorrow's the 11th to 12th. There's a small chance something happening around the 15th of March. We'll keep an eye on it. Some models are going back and forth on that, and that's obviously second priority to what's happening to tomorrow. But outside of that, Greg, I'm really not seeing a whole lot. Next week we return to 70s in a lot of places by the end of the week. So this cool down, this freeze, as you will, it'll be on Monday. So it's just bear with it through the weekend. Unfortunately, it's the weekend that it's hitting.
I mean, there's plenty of those to go around. So
absolutely.
All right.
Well, 52 weekends.
Real quickly, Tiger Woods in the Hall of Fame. I mean, that's no surprise. It was just when it was going to happen. Not. Tiger Woods inducted into the World Golf Hall of Fame last night. And I looked up some stats. So Tiger Woods has earned, he's 82 PGA wins, 15 majors. Very impressive. $120 million in winnings.
Side note real quick. I didn't know this till like a year ago, how much golfers make. It is one of the more lucrative sports if you know how to market yourself.
Those putts, I mean, you could see $2 million. I mean, to win a tournament, a regular tournament, $2 million.
Yeah.
The second place may make, $1 million. So that's $1 million putt. If you've got a putt to win the tournament, that's $1 million putt. That's some high pressure.
See all the pressure on their face. I mean, how many times have we seen Tiger with that red polo on go down and just nail it? And you said 15 major wins and 82 PGA wins, something like that. Just to think about that and add a little bit of context to it, that he's been injured or had other things going on. And I'm wishing him well because I'm a big fan of Tiger. And everyone has struggles, and a celebrity or not. But the amount of time that he missed to have those level of statistics is impressive.
Yeah.
And it is absolutely impressive.
Here's the most impressive thing. $1.5 billion in endorsements.
That's insane.
We're missing something, right. George.
We're over trying ourselves, and we need to get in golf, I guess.
Yeah. I've played, and I like to play.
I love golf, but I will hit the ground more than I hit the ball 90% of the time. But I do really enjoy playing.
Yeah, it's good. All right, so wedding. I thought about this because I know you'd posted the picture on social media the other day of you and your fiance, and so this morning I was thinking, how can I tie this around George, not just weather related? Because George, it's just weather stuff. How can I? Because I know you were going to contribute so much with the weather. How can I contribute to George as we wrap up the show today? And I go, as a guy that's been married 23 years, almost 24 years, I could give some keen marital advice. But, my marital advice is maybe different than somebody else's marital advice. And it may not be the best advice in the world. So I thought, I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to help with the wedding. So you and your lovely fiance can use as much of these ideas as you want or not. So I did some research on weird wedding traditions around the world.
Okay.
So, I mean, because that's kind of a thing now is people like to have so first of all, you're supposed to say good stuff about her. So just know that.
Oh, she know everyone knows. I mean, everyone knows how much I love that woman, and she should know as well. But I can't wait to hear some of these crazy ideas that you have.
And don't mark them out. Just, you guys can think on them. You've got time. Like this weekend with the snow, you're just kind of sitting around after all the snow's done. You're relaxing. You're not worried about the weather anymore. You can just sit around and ponder these. Okay. So, weird wedding traditions. So in Bulgaria, the bride
weird already
is presented with an onion by her fiance. Now, earlier, the groom's
did not like
friends
that.
pour barley over him and fire rifles into the air to ward off evil
Okay.
spirits.
I didn't know where you were going with that at first, but I can get with the groomsman's side. I can get with the groomsman's side. I don't know about the onion thing. It's got to be something specific to Bulgaria, right?
Right.
Because that's never heard of that.
I mean, it would be different.
Oddly enough, I kind of get what the groomsmen are getting at there with the barley and shooting it. I didn't know where you're going at first with the shooting the rifle. I'm glad you finished it with shooting in the sky. Got a little scared there for a second because I don't know if I would have.
That'd be kind of a rough way to start a wedding when you get shot. Yeah, wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah, there's been some strange things in this world, but everyone has their beliefs too.
So don't mark that one out. I mean, people would talk like,
on the
why did
board.
they just give her an onion? Okay, so Philippines.
Okay.
Becoming a kept woman takes on a new meaning as the proud groom hurls a spear onto the step of his bride's home. The custom is designed to ward off potential suitors. Oh, and here's the other thing, though. In the Philippines, their ceremonies last 3 days.
Oh, my God.
Could you imagine how expensive that would be?
Not only expensive, but how exhausting that would be. If you have like a bigger family of any means or a bigger group of friends by any means that joins you, how exhausting that would be.
I'm just thinking of the chicken fingers. All the chicken fingers you'd have to buy. You're buying lunch meat. You're buying. I mean, it would get expensive
nowadays. I mean, we went to look at wedding stuff a year ago, and the prices are different so much from then to now. Like it's just there's no shot. Philippines, I respect everything you do, but no shot. I'm doing a 3-day celebration. That one's off the board for me.
Okay, so we'll move on to Venezuela. So Venezuela. It's considered good luck if the bride and groom manage to sneak away from the reception unnoticed. The families also exchange gold coins, which symbolizes good fortune. So I guess the families would exchange these coins. But here's the thing.
Oh Lord,
how many of those? You go to the receptions. It's all about the bride and the groom, as it should be. Right. That's not an easy job to sneak away. And could you imagine in Venezuela, it's considered good luck to sneak away. So do people look away so they can sneak away, or do you have to really have a smoke and mirror effect to get away for the good luck?
I'm the type of person that would see that as a challenge and absolutely love trying to come up with a plan to do that. I totally could get on board with that. And I like the gold coin exchanging for the families because you make sure you get the families get along. I can't tell you how many times I've seen, unfortunately, where families aren't really getting along with people. So I absolutely love the family idea there. I love everything about it. I really do.
Good. All right. So there's a positive.
There's one.
We'll move to Sudan. So in Sudan, 7 broomsticks are burnt and thrown away to represent discarding bad habits and a new start.
Okay. I like the metaphor there.
So the bride and groom sit next to each other under an umbrella in front of the entrance to their new home with a veil covering both of their heads. The umbrella is held over the couple's heads, and then eggs are broken around them.
Okay. I thought you were going to see, Greg, you keep leading me to thinking something really bad is going to happen. And it's just like, it's around there. No, I totally understand the broom thing. I don't know why we need 7 brooms for that. I feel like you can get that accomplished with 1 broom. It's just more about the metaphor than the amount of poor brooms that have to die.
Well, you gotta be careful. I mean, you don't want to break with tradition. If they've done 7 and you only do 1, you may not get the full dose of luck.
I guess you're probably right about that. I just don't know where it came up with 7 from.
After the eggs are broken, now this is where it kind of gets weird, and Brianna may not like this at all. The groom is pronounced master of his house when the egg is broken.
I absolutely love that.
His wife then cleans his feet and walks over a log to the house, demonstrating obedience to her new husband.
Yeah, I don't think she'd like that. She's not a big fan of feet. So I don't think she would like that one very much.
So she may not like this one. This is in Denmark.
Okay.
In Denmark, hear me out. In Denmark, at the reception, it is tradition for the groom to disappear for part of the ceremony so that all the single men can kiss the bride. Later,
it's a blessing thing. Go ahead.
Yeah. Later, the bride disappears while the groom has to kiss all the single girls.
So it was all the groomsmen that kissed the bride, right?
No,
Or
it's all the single
single
men
guy.
kiss the
Okay,
bride.
okay. So okay. So I guess
Eh,
it's like a blessing, like I'm blessing you to hopefully you get married one day, kind of like our bouquet toss, maybe.
I guess, but I don't. Yeah, I'm not in for this one.
No, maybe I can understand like pre-COVID. I still would never do it, but now, knowing how infectious the
That's
world is, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I like
No,
how you're trying to make it seem like it's okay at some point. Oh, now
no, it's
pre-COVID,
definitely,
I mean,
definitely
yeah,
not.
no, it's not okay the way, George. This is the first marital advice I'm going to throw you, and it's for free. Okay?
Oh
No, it's
man,
not okay, George.
no, definitely not. I'm gonna play it back. I definitely said I would never do it, but especially now, knowing how infectious this world can be, no thank you, no thank you.
That's still not the answer, George. No, just say no.
Oh no, I'm learning.
Uh, in Germany, the tradition. Now, this is the tradition of choosing the best man. This is where that started.
Okay.
So in Germany, centuries ago, it was sometimes necessary for a man to kidnap his bride from a neighboring village, and he needed his strongest friend, his best man, to help. And now he would also fight off family at the ceremony. That doesn't sound good.
Sounds like kidnapping. But have you ever seen the show The Office, Greg?
Yes.
That sounds like bestest Minch, what Dwight called it on The Office whenever he married Angela. That sounds exactly like, except for the whole kidnapping part. That was not
I mean,
expecting that.
so
Hopefully
when
they
you,
don't do that anymore.
well, you do it. You choose a best man. That's what the best man was. The tradition was designed for.
Wow, wow,
So,
that's something.
and then, he would also fight off the family at the ceremony. I'm wondering, is that when the pastor, the priest would ask if anybody here has any objections, please now. Is that when the best man's supposed to jump in and start fighting people off?
I guess that sounds like exhausting. I'm trying to make my wedding as simple as possible.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm gonna be able to accomplish that.
Yeah. That's
But
her idea, not yours.
absolutely,
You
absolutely.
just say yes, ma'am, and move on.
Just say and then figure out. Yeah,
Now,
I'm learning that fast.
and then the final one here is we get ready to wrap this up. So just be glad you're not in Indonesia. So no matter what happens in the wedding, you pay for the venue, you pay for the chicken fingers and whatever
Right.
else.
Okay.
Just be glad you're not in Indonesia, because in Indonesia, everyone who has ever met the bride and groom expects to be invited to the wedding. So many ceremonies in Indonesia have over 1,000 guests.
That almost gave me an aneurysm. Just thinking about that.
See, so just as planning goes on, just say, I'm glad I'm not in Indonesia.
Yeah, I mean, out of all the wild things we've heard, I'd rather just do something wild than to not spend that level of money on a that just gave me an aneurysm just thinking about that. Really, truly.
All right, so there you go. Well, best of luck in the wedding. Best of luck this weekend. I know you've still got a lot of work to do in this weather stuff. And Weather Now Kentucky, site you go to, if you are not following them, you should be following them immediately. And then I know you have a text alert system that's set up for severe weather that you throw out information to people. So
yes, luckily we haven't had to do that too much. We haven't really had too many emergency situations. We've had, I think, 2. I try to save that line for really imminent alerts, so people know when they get a text message across their screen that they know it's important. But yes, we do have a TAS, a text alert system set up, and we have a lot of good things coming our way. Like I said earlier, we're expanding to YouTube, so I'm looking at options to broadcast to both at one time to make sure that we're keeping as many people as safe as possible. So yeah, we're looking at a lot of things moving forward. We're just getting started. Hopefully we get a little bit of a break in like the end of March after this little system. We can kind of get some things actually. The reason we haven't been able to expand this yet is because I haven't had the time to set everything up. It all takes time. But we just keep getting system after system after system. So hopefully we get a bit of a break here for a little bit. We can just enjoy some nice weather for more than 2 days and really get some nice time to enjoy some time outside. I feel like we all deserve it.
Yeah. All right. So that's going to do it for this Thursday, March 10th, 2022, show number 147 of Bacon in Your Mailbox. Again, make sure you follow George with the Weather Now, Kentucky. George, appreciate the time today, and we'll have to do it again
Had
soon.
a blast. Yes.
Good stuff. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us for Bacon in Your Mailbox.